You're listening to Creating a Universe, a Love Anarchy podcast hosted by William J. Rogers. On this show, we follow the journey of creatives, artists, and entrepreneurs who are making a name for themselves in the ever-evolving landscape of today's industry. Featuring an insight into both Love Anarchy and the Lovaniverse music universe, as well as the individual projects and stories of each of our guests, from the music industry and beyond. So whether you're a budding creative or simply interested in what goes on behind the scenes, this is the podcast for you. Hello and welcome to Creating a Universe. I'm your host, William J. Rogers, and today we're here with creator of the intergalactic metal project, Final Blast, Mr. Luke Robinson. How's it going, Luke?
I'm good. Are you all right?
Yeah. It's good to get to chat with you, man.
Yeah. It's nice to be here, and thanks for having me on the podcast. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolute pleasure, man. So just to kick things off, would you be able to give just a little bit of an overview of who you are, what you're doing with the project, and all that?
Yeah. So I'm mainly a solo artist. Really, I just hire out people to do the parts that I can't do. So I can't sing, I can't play drums. So I tend to just write the guitar parts, the bass parts, keyboards, and bit of orchestration and do the mixing, really. But I come from a 80s metal background, really. Even though I wasn't around in the 80s, but that's just what's really mainly influenced me to write music. Mm-hmm. And then in my late teens, I really got into film soundtracks, like going to HMV and discovering, wait a minute, you can actually buy film soundtracks on CD. Like what? So I got really into that. Like John Williams and Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer, that sort of stuff. And then I just discovered symphonic metal, and I was like, hold on a minute, like these bands they're blending metal and orchestras together and choirs. So I thought, I like mind blown. But then as I went to college and university studying music, I realized, I can do this as well. I can do this. So I think it was about 2014. I had to release an EP, my final year project. So it just had to be me, no one else involved.
Cool.
So I thought, well, let's get all these ideas that I've got in my head and let's just get them down. I've got 7 months to do this EP, so let's just go for it, see what happens. And that EP ended up being the first Final Blast EP in the course of time. And I thought, great, I've got 6 songs. Let's get some artwork done. And cool. Being a university student, I had no money by the end of it. So I just did my own artwork, which not really recommended if you don't know what you're doing, which I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, let's just make a logo, just learn how to do some basic Photoshop, and just get a planet on there. Yeah, that's what I did, basically. And then I thought, well, I really enjoyed doing that, and I reckon I can do better than the EP if I just get some money together, get a job, get some money together, and buy a computer, because I didn't have a computer or anything.
Wow.
So probably 18 months later, working full time, I just spent all my money on a computer and software, just getting everything that I need to be able to get this vision that I've got, this Final Blast vision, on recording. So the money that I saved up was either going to be towards a HGV lorry license or a Mac. So I thought, well, let's just go for the Mac.
Yeah.
So and I discovered so many orchestral VSTs whilst I was at uni. Just learning off other people and that, and they recommend me this, that, and other. And I spent a lot of money on orchestral VSTs. I thought, right, let's just do one song. Just to see what happens and just go for it. And ended up coming out with a 6-minute track called Portals of Rebirth. And it just starts off with the choirs. Like, it's the first thing you hear, and it's just like, you know, it's not anything I've done before, because the EP was just all strings, whereas this was like more orchestral, more choirs. So it came out of Portals of Rebirth, and I just started trying to promote and, you know, market that as much as I can, basically. And I think most of the people who have heard of Final Blast, I think for most people, that one song was there when they discovered.
Yeah, they're way in. Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, not many people heard the EP. It was that song, 2018, that were people like, you know, what's this? I want to check this band out. So then when it came 2 years after that, the pandemic, I came out with the first debut album, 10 tracks in the course of time. I was like, well, you know, let's do Portals of Rebirth, but do 10 songs of this. And it kind of drifted off. I wouldn't say it was like Portals of Rebirth, although that was my first intention. But all these ideas just kept coming out in my head, so I was just like, well, let's just go for it, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think people enjoyed it, and again, that attracted more people on all different platforms, because I was mainly just I was mainly just focusing on Facebook, really. I didn't really have Instagram or anything like that, or be active on it. But yeah, I just tried to push the album as much as I can, and it just got me excited to write a second album. So I think straight after the first release, I just went straight onto the second one. But yeah, so it's just flown so quickly. Well, that's like awesome. The first 7 years. That's just 7 years. Like,
yeah, wow.
I'm like 2014. Like, it's just gone, you know, so quick. Now we're on album 2 and an EP 2, which the EP will be out tomorrow.
Yeah, but a few days ago from when people are listening to this.
Yeah,
the EP has just come out.
Yeah, so 16th, Friday 16th of December.
Yeah.
That's the second EP, and then the second album came out the week before, on the 9th of December. But yeah, for this recording now, I'm still yet to hear like fans' reaction.
Because it's
the
so
album.
new. Yeah.
I've been a bit quiet this week, but I think once I get the EP out on the 16th, then I'm going to be posting more videos, try and get feedback of what people think of the new releases. So yeah,
amazing, man. Amazing. Well, he's certainly got my attention, so that's cool. You know, we're here now talking about it, man. Yeah, what a journey! Like, I absolutely love that. Really, really cool. And so, yeah, it sounds like Portals of Rebirth was, when you really found your sound. And then since then, you've just had this endless stream of that sound, which you're able to tap into, which is cool because it's actually a pretty unique sound as well. Like, you've really got your own thing going here. And especially like thematically and all that. Like, for anybody that's listening that might not have even heard you yet, how would you describe your music and the art that you create and potentially influences and things that you've had like that perhaps have inspired you?
Well, the thing is, I'm not very good with words, and basically I just called it symphonic metal. That's just what I called it. But then when I started to get some traction online, people started telling me what they thought it sounded like.
Good. Cool.
I was like, oh, it's melodic death metal with a bit of synth, or there's elements of power metal, and there's the odd little bit of black metal there. And what somebody once called it. Well, you get stuff like epic,
Yeah, sure.
But somebody once called it bombastic, I was
Nice.
like bombastic. I was like,
Yeah,
actually, yeah, that's like a cool
it's a
word.
good
But
word. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I do it, with the portals of rebirth, especially at the end, where it just goes mental. I suppose it is bombastic. So yeah, I'm not very good at describing my own music. It's other
Hmm.
people that describe it better than me.
That's cool.
But yeah, each release so far or each song, they just have it's mainly symphonic, definitely melodic. Uh, but when it comes to the vocals, it's like power slash death
Hmm.
vocals. It's
Hmm.
symphonic melodic metal, power death vocals,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
then
I think,
it's got a
and then it's generally epic
fantasy.
and
Yeah,
bombastic and
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The fantasy, like kind of galactic theme you have going on as well. Like, I'm really interested in that.
yeah. I've always been like mad on Star Wars.
Yeah, cool.
But like I said earlier, like John Williams,
Yeah, yeah,
big
yeah.
influence. So yeah, I've tried to put that sort of orchestral John Williams sort of sound into it,
Hmm.
um, but just try and keep it more metal than orchestral.
Hmm.
Although there are tracks that I've got that are just orchestral,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think that's just because there's so much death metal going on, melodic
Yeah, you want
metal,
the
like
dynamic,
sometimes
right?
you want to
Hmm.
calm it down a bit,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
midway through. So
Well, that way, like the heavy is only heavy when you have that dynamic to contrast it to. You know, if it's all the time, then it stops feeling heavy. So yeah,
yeah,
it's the right
I
way to do it, I
mean,
think.
think about it. The first EP, there's a song on there that has, oh, it's two songs that have clean guitars. I don't think I've done clean guitars since on, the last two albums.
Hmm.
So maybe that's something I can explore more on the third album,
Hmm.
another year or two, or maybe three, see what happens. Yeah, let's get some clean guitars on there. But yeah, it's more of a dynamic thing, just having orchestral tracks. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool, man. I absolutely love the sound that you've created. I think it's so well married with with the visual, like your cover art and everything looks so cool. It really paints that picture like what the music paints, you know.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Totally kind of larger than life kind of vibes with it, man, which is totally my kind of thing. So yeah, hats off, man. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Yeah. It's especially 2 years ago with the first album, I was still trying to figure out my sound
Hmm.
really. But I think with this second album, I think it's clicked in my head. Like, right, this is my sound. Like, I've got like visions of all different styles, but I think I've like finally nailed it down to
Nice.
like it make my next album even more easier to write.
Hmm.
I'd say that's what I'm trying to say. So,
That's cool.
um,
So
but
I'm
yeah,
interested. I'm interested in like you mentioned kind of about your trajectory of getting into music. You mentioned as well like going to university and more being more into getting into the film soundtracks and stuff and the orchestration and those VSTs. Where did like playing guitar and things come into it? Is that something you did for a long time before that, or you got into that later?
yeah, it started off with the guitar really. When I was about
Mm.
8, 9 years old,
Yeah, cool.
I thought the only thing that was music was pop music and Eminem. Like I didn't know any other type of music. And then my brother put Kerrang on TV one day before school,
Nice.
and Red Hot Chili Peppers came on. I was like, "What's this?" Like I've never heard anything like. I'm like 8 years old, 9 years old.
Uh-huh.
Like, what is this? I was like, "What's that?" Guys playing guitar like that, and like, I didn't even know what a bass guitar was, but it sounded good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it was by the way.
Right, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's great
So
overdriven bass in that song. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" So I really got into Chili Peppers.
yeah. Mm.
I think they was the band that made me say, as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, whatever. Like I was asking my mum, like, "Oh, I want a guitar." But she, at first she thought I was just messing about. I was like, no, I want a real guitar. And I was blessed enough for my mum to buy me a guitar when I was 12, I think it was.
Cool.
And she's like, which one do you want? Like, I want the green one. I don't know. I just want a guitar.
Yeah.
I just went to guitar shop. I just saw Red Hot Chili Peppers Greatest Hits guitar book. I had no idea how to read it, but I was like, I'm gonna learn how to read this tab, And I started learning Red Hot Chili Peppers songs.
Was it the Greatest Hits? Was it the Greatest Hits tab book by any chance?
Yeah, it's
with the lips on it.
No, it's the one with just the logo on. I've got it here. This
one. Yeah, this one, dude. So, man, I had the exact same book, and also like I can relate so much to your story because I got into guitar around about the same kind of age, and Red Hot Chili Peppers was a really big band for me around about that, and I had that exact same book as you, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I actually had 2 of that book because I think somebody bought it for me as a gift, and I already had it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
Got a little backing track CD at the
yeah, man. Yeah, it's wicked. That's so cool, man. Cool.
Yeah,
Red Hot Chili Peppers, then. Yeah. Great band.
Yeah, you're just like probably a whole year or two just studying that book.
Nice.
And but yeah, and then I've really got to give credit to my brother here because he's introduced me to all this. You got GTA Vice City on PS2.
Yeah.
And you can just drive around in a taxi with radio on.
That's it.
He's got V-Rock on. And I'm like, what are these guitar solos? What's this singing? Like, I'm hearing like Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and Motley Crue on it. And I'm like, who are these bands? Oh, they're just some 80s band. They're probably not around anymore. Turns out they're still around. And I saw them Sheffield Arena, like Iron Maiden. I was like, what? Is that band that's on that game, that GTA game? I was like, wow. I can't look them up on internet. I don't think I knew what internet was. I didn't know how to use a computer. But my good friend of mine from school, he just says, have you ever heard of a band called Iron Maiden? I went, yeah, I have. They're on that game. He goes, oh, well, my girlfriend's got me the new album. Do you want to borrow it? I said, oh, okay then. So I borrowed the new Iron Maiden album, which was Dance of Death.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's go home. Let's put this in the CD player. Put it on, and I was just blown away. I was like, what is this? Like, what's with all these guitar solos and harmonies and stuff like that? I didn't even know what harmonies was.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's so much going off. Like, an hardcore Iron Maiden fan wouldn't say Dance to Death is the best album. But for me, it was like my proper introduction. I was like, what is going on? Like,
to pretty much all of metal.
Yeah. So I just,
amazing.
I just saved up all my pocket money as a teenager and spent all my pocket money on CDs. So I went to H&B and just bought every Iron Maiden album that I could afford, every Megadeth album, just all this, 80s stuff. So, and then I was like, right, I need to up my game on the guitar skills. So I started buying Iron Maiden guitar books and just started learning them. It was just like it was like, well, not like learning the instrument again, but it was just like, Chili Peppers are great. I've like pretty much studied all the greatest hits. Now it's time to move on to something a little bit more, more heavier sort of thing.
Yeah, the next step.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. So I'm about 16 at this point, and then that's when I realized that you like I said, you can buy film soundtracks.
Yeah.
That just took me to a whole new world. So yeah, that's about it. Really.
Yeah,
so
I got you. Cool.
Yeah, started off with guitar and the orchestral stuff came like late teens. So
nice.
Yeah.
And man, that's so cool. It's so cool chatting with you as well, because like it's so relatable in terms of we're both in the same part of the world practically. And so growing up in the UK, all these things like Kerrang TV, it was Kerrang and Scuzz. I had them both on constantly, like switching between the two. If you don't like the song on Kerrang, switch it to Scuzz, and then vice versa. Yeah. And HMV as well. Like, I mean, it's still alive. It just about hung on, didn't it, and survived from like selling T-shirts or something. But back when we were kids, like it was a big deal, man. And it was an experience going there and getting music.
I look forward to going to Meadow Hall, the shopping centre in Sheffield, on a weekend just to go to HMV. I think there was Virgin as well. It was like Virgin just round the corner, where it was basically just another HMV. But I've got CDs there. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I was wondering. So that they're all CDs on the shelf behind you.
Yeah, and there's some more at the bottom that you can't see, but
cool.
You know, I do still buy CDs. Probably not as much as I used to, but I still, you know, probably buy about 7 or 8 CDs, a year, something like that.
Nice. Yeah, nice. And so is that still your preferred way of listening, or?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the car that I've got now doesn't have CD player in it.
Right, there we go.
I don't listen to them as much.
That's my problem. My laptop doesn't even have one. Like, I literally don't own a CD player, unfortunately.
Yeah.
At this stage. Yeah.
It's still
nice to have them.
Buy them. Yeah, it's nice to have.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so any other standout albums and artists? I mean, I'm sure that's a topic with depth, but what other ones had like big impact on you over the years?
Do you want me to tell you like the top 5? Should I say?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Well, I'd say in terms of the riffs, I'd say it's more thrash. So there's a bit of Megadeth riff there, not as good as them, but there's that thrashiness there to the riffs. The melodic guitar is probably the more Iron Maiden sort of thing. So you got a bit of Megadeth, got a bit of Maiden. I had a bit of Nightwish on there in terms of the synths and like the stabbing choirs. So I had a bit of that, and then just add a bit of John Williams. And in terms of the vocals, so that's 4 artists. So the 5th one, I would say Winter Sun. Because,
cool.
Well, they're like melodic death metal, but when it comes to the vocals, there's like so many layers, especially with the Time album. But with this new album I've just released, The Return from Beyond, I've got 2 vocalists on it. I've got Tom, who's more death metal, and I've got Evergen. He can do everything really.
Cool.
All different styles. So I've got quite a lot of layers in there. So I suppose Winter Sun, in terms of the orchestrations and layers, vocal layers, they're like my top 5 Final Blast influence. Yeah. So Maiden, Megadeth, Nightwish, John Williams, and Winter Sun.
Cool.
That's the way I'd boil it down to. Yeah.
Nice, man. And so, like, again, that going back to us being kind of same age and whatnot, like, I guess you had like Lord of the Rings movies and the Star Wars prequels and stuff. Things like these big franchises come out when you're a kid, and then obviously those soundtracks have been so influential for you. So yeah, I guess was that just like a big impact for you as a kid? You were super into Star Wars and all that.
Yeah. I think it was a lot of it was playing games as well, like Star Wars games. Like,
which were your favorite Star Wars games?
So we played. Well, I think Phantom Menace came out when I was about 8, so that was my first Star Wars experience.
Right.
Not knowing there were 3 films a few decades before.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I was like, wow, what's this? And we had Phantom Menace, the PlayStation 1 game, and we had Jedi Power Battles as well. Me and my brother was like obsessed. Nice. Jedi. Oh, and Battlefront Yeah, Battlefront.
The
Battlefront
first
2.
Battlefront. Oh, Battlefront 2 was really good.
Battlefront 2, yeah. We were just hooked on that.
Did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic, the RPG one?
My best friend did, and he talks to me about it quite a lot. And I'm like, I'll play it one day.
Yeah.
My best friend is.
I was obsessed with that one, man, as a kid. I played Battlefront and those ones too as well, like with my siblings. But like, yeah, as an RPG, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, I just completed them so many times to do like every possible combination of like light side, dark side, all of that.
Yeah. Are they doing like a remake of that, or?
I think they are. Yeah, I think they are. They made also like a big MMO version, like the Old Republic Online, but I think now they're doing like a remake of the original Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah,
Right.
It's so cool, man. I loved Star Wars as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. There's just so many Star Wars games, weren't there? And
A lot, yeah.
It was like the pod racing as well. Like you could play in arcades.
Yeah.
So many to play.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah. But in terms of Lord of the Rings, like I'd heard of Lord of the Rings at school, and and I heard like people were saying, "Oh, it's boring. Like, don't watch that rubbish," sort of thing. And then my brother I don't even think he asked for them, but he got all the extended versions on DVD for Christmas.
Right.
I don't know what. I mean, I think it was a good decision by my parents. Like, I don't think we even asked for them. I don't know. My brother just got them. So, well, I'll watch them. My brother watched them. He went, "Luke, you've got to watch Lord of the Rings." I'm like, "Really?" I heard they were boring. He's like, no, just trust me, just watch it. I'm like, all right. So I watched all Lord of the Rings, and he was like, best thing ever. I was like, what? I'm gonna watch them all again.
Yeah, totally.
But,
yeah. I mean, Howard Shore's scores for that as well are absolute up there with the best of the best, man. It's just like definitely. with those franchises, especially, like it's the way that the music just holds so much depth in it because it has all this thematic content from like across an entire series. It just takes like this other kind of genius to like contain all of that, and that's just like something that's so inspirational to me. And like John Williams, I think he's like the best of the best, right? Star Wars is probably like the ultimate masterpiece of that in terms of musical world building, basically.
That's it. And what I love about it as well is all these different characters, like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. There's so many different characters in it. I think that's what influenced me as well in terms of the artwork. Like especially this last album, like trying to get some like devil, revenant sort of creatures going off and ghosts and phantoms and stuff like that. So yeah, I think so.
That's awesome.
Maybe Lord of the Rings, even though it's not sci-fi, it's still fantasy. But I think the whole different characters has probably influenced me as well. So
that's really cool. Yeah. So in terms of your music then, like your music, it sounds very kind of big like that. As you say, it's got that fantasy sci-fi thing. And you have the characters, as you say, as well, like on the artwork, which looks so cool. Do you write with like a story in mind? Like, is there a concept to your music?
Yeah, I suppose like the main character, they call him Cyros.
Nice.
It was Tom who does the death metal vocals. Like he's very good with words. He's like opposite to me when it comes to like literacy and and he has helped out quite a bit with the lyrics side of things. But yeah, he's like, I come up with these characters and they can do this and they can do that, but I'm not very good with names. And so he like came up with Cyros, and I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. We could use that. And he came up with like other characters as well. But yeah, I think it's just good and evil, basically. Like Cyros kind of looks like an evil sort of character, but he's not. He kind of like protects humanity, sort of thing. And the Phantom Lords just, I don't know, they're like the dark side, basically.
Nice.
yeah, I'm still to exploring these characters, but I've just basically just got out as much ideas as I can and just describe them to graphic designer sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still to explore on it.
And so,
but I basically just, yep.
I was just going to ask that in terms of the lyrics for your songs, are they like closely following this narrative with a character for the moment, or what's your process with lyrics?
I just think of a scene. I just think of a scene like a Star Wars film. Like you've got this crazy scene going off at the beginning, and then all of a sudden it just goes to a completely different planet, and it's like everything's calm. We introduce new characters, introduce new instruments, and that's the way I kind of think as a 10-track album. Like this is chapter 1, track 1, chapter 2, that sort of thing. And I just kind of try and paint a new planet or a new scene just with music.
Yeah, you're like, so there is like a journey to an album, basically. They're not just like 10 random songs. You have this kind of flow in that kind of cinematic way.
Yeah, and I think what helps as well is in my lyrics, there's a lot of talking going off.
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's not all singing, and there's I try and like edit the voices to make them sound like characters,
right, cool.
or godly voices, so make just pitch shift some of the words and stuff like that, which I've done quite a bit on this new album. Yeah, so there's a concept behind the characters. The stories do change and that, but yeah, without the characters and without the fantasy themes, I won't really know like what to write songs about. I don't really want to write songs about my life. A lot. You know what I mean? So I don't really know what to write about. So I'm just like, I'm just going to stick to this fantasy theme. So
yeah, the outlet for the story. I mean, there's still real life in that. It's just a means of expressing it, which is sweet. Yeah, and it suits the music as well. It's bombastic, as we say. So yeah, very cool. So in terms of the people that you're collaborating with then on the records, like I'd love to know more about like your production process, who you're working with, how you go about choosing people to work with, how the whole thing comes together.
Well, it started off university. Tom, who does the death metal vocals, he wanted to start a band at uni, so he just put an email out to like the entire university. Who wants to start a metal band? I was like, yeah, go on then, let's go for it. And there were about 6 of us, but we were all metal, but we're all into different types of metal.
Yeah.
We didn't play any gigs or anything, but I learned what Tom can do, and he learned what I can do. And I said, I've got an EP to do at university. Do you want to do the vocals on it? And we were just learning. We were basically just learning like what we could do, what he could do vocally. So he can sing, he could do the head voice sort of stuff, do the growls, grunts, all sorts of stuff. And he was basically learning himself what he can do. Like, God, I didn't even know I could do vocals like this. So I'm like, cool. He's like, I didn't even know, So yeah, Tom's always been a good to work with, and he's really good at what he does. And so I was like, we've done the EP. Let's do Portals and Rebirth. So he did that. But then when it came to Interplanetary War, I was like, I want some more power metal singing with lots of harmonies and this, that, and the other. And basically what I was asking for, Tom was like, it's like way out of my range. I can't, it's a different style. I can't do this. So Tom said to me, do you think you could get another vocalist? I said, yeah, sure. Like, if that's how you feel, I'm sure I can get another vocalist. So I discovered Evgen Zoidze from Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and the way he described himself was, I can do multiple different styles. I was like, oh, well, let's have a listen then. So I checked out his SoundCloud and YouTube, and I was like, wow, he actually can do all different sorts of styles.
Cool.
He's like 5 different singers in one. And what I was looking for mainly was somebody who could do, I think they're called vocal fries, which Devin Townsend does a lot. It's like you can sing melodic lead, but have that distortion to it.
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody like Devin Townsend, but I don't really know anybody who can sing like Devin Townsend.
Nobody can sing like Devin Townsend. Only Devin.
Yeah, and same with the Winter Sun stuff. Even Yori said, the vocalist of Winter Sun, he says, "Oh, like if it weren't for Devin Townsend, I don't know his exact words, but he said Devin Townsend was an influence when it comes to the vocals with the vocal fry stuff." I was like, God, it'd be good if we get somebody to do that. Anyway, yeah, discovered Evgen, and I just said, could you do like vocal fries? He's like, well, I can give it a go. And I think maybe the first song, it might have just been the first 2 songs on the album. The Galactic Death Storm, the second track, there's like 2 big screams in that song. One in the intro, it says "for strike," but it's like strike is like really high pitched, but we're like a fuzzy like that.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, like with Devin Townsend, he gets those like harmonic type things.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Like, what? And I couldn't tell if he did like one take or maybe a couple of takes. Yeah. But then obviously he sent me all the layers after. But I just like, what? This is amazing. And then halfway through the song, just before solo, it goes, "For open fire." It was like really,
nice.
really high pitched. What? Right? Hired. So, Evgen, he did the whole inspiratory vocals.
Nice.
Tom only did the chorus to Galactic Death Storm.
Okay, so he did
that's the only part he's in the album. I thought, it'd be good when we do the second album. Why don't I get both? Why don't I get Tom and Evgen? Like, Tom, come on, let's get back into this.
Nice.
And I think it works. I've blended both vocalists together. I think it works.
Totally.
And I think people like Tom's voice anyway before, like Portals of Rebirth sort of stuff. So I think fans would like that he's back on this album.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of vocals going off, and if we could play live in the future, that'd be amazing. So
to have both vocalists.
Yeah, but I'd have to get Evgen from Ukraine. Bring him over here. But yeah, so that's the vocalist. The drummer. The first album I got, 66 Samus.
I saw that.
YouTuber.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. What a drummer! Like, his insane level, man.
With vocals, I wanted vocal fries. With a drummer, I just want somebody who's good at blast beats. And when I think of blast
final
beats,
blast, right? We need those blast beats.
I was like, who can do blast beats the best? I'm like, well, 66 Samus. And it just so it happens, I was kind of finishing that first album, and Samus came out on YouTube and went, "I've just quit my job. Does anybody want to hire me as a session drummer?" Like, I was like, it couldn't have timed more perfectly. So I just emailed him. So I was like, right, let's go for it. And he did the drums on the first album. Did an amazing job of it, and the production of it is just, just amazing. So so that's basically it. In terms of the music, hiring people.
So it's just vocals and drums. And so, what did you do for drums on the new stuff?
I actually programmed it.
That's fair. I mean, it sounds great. by the way.
Yeah,
But,
I've
that's the typical go-to for people like you and I think that are, working from our bedrooms, doing all the guitars and orchestra. Like, yeah,
well, the
program
thing
drum
is,
is accessible.
the thing is, just like 6 Samus, he uses drum triggers, so he's using drum samples.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
playing it live, but
Well, basically all of metal drums are. I mean, it's very, very rare at this point that you have completely organic metal drums.
Yeah, I suppose it's just the modern metal sound, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I've had this argument with myself for years. Like, do I get a real drummer? Like, do I program the drums? But I was never good. I could program drums, but I could never make it sound good.
Yeah, sure. Drummers bring a whole other thing to a performance, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I just put some money aside and hired Samus for that, for the first one. For the second time, I thought, you know what, I'm really gonna spend more time trying to make my program drums more realistic and program it better. So basically, like, my Instagram was just full of drummers. Like, I just stopped watching guitar players and just started watching drummers. How would a drummer do this? How would a drummer do that?
That's
all
cool.
the different philosophies. And yeah, so I just became obsessed with that. So I was just studying all different drummers and just try and program it the way they would play it. I think I've achieved a better drum. I think I've achieved what I wanted to get out of the program drums, like the overall sound.
Yeah.
If you listen to the stuff I did 7 years ago, I'm like, yeah, you can tell it's programmed. Every snare is like the same velocity, that sort of thing. And just the overall mix, if you listen to Portals of Rebirth, like the hi-hats and the crashes are just like in your face, like just like, God, did I really mix it like that? But,
so I was just gonna say that I think your mixing is exceptionally good. Like, I mean, I suppose as you say, you came from like producing music. I suppose you're doing that. What exactly were you doing? Music production at degree or
at where? So at uni.
So for your degree, uni, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically, I live with a guy who was on my course. I was more of a songwriter, music theory sort of guy, whereas he was more of music production.
I see.
So I was helping him, like, with the songwriting and theory, and he was helping me with the production.
Right.
So cool. I'm like, I'm not learning from the lecturers; I'm learning from my roommate.
I see. Yeah. Almost like trading. Yeah.
So cool. I learned a lot from him, basically, and I think I've just spent more time now that I've got my computer, my equipment here at home. I've just spent more time on mixing. Like I'll mix on my headphones, try and get it sound as best as I can. And then in the car, my car will tell me what's wrong with it. And I'll go back inside, remix it, just edit some stuff, get back in the car, listen to it. I'm like, right, that problem's sorted out, but now there's another problem, just stuff like that. Like, it's not so much, the snare needs turning down. It's more, it just needs EQing better. I just want to hear this frequency a little bit more. Just little stuff like that. So I'm just like going back from my house to my car like that and just testing it there.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
I think it's just a matter of just spend more time mixing. Like, and have breaks as well. Like, have a lot of breaks from mixing because your ears will just get used to it, won't it? So
yeah.
But I was never a mix. I didn't even know what mixing was when I went to uni. Or maybe I did, but I didn't know how to mix a song. So I think it was just living with a guy from music production sort of area and just spending hours just trying to better myself with that sort of thing. I think that's what it is really. But try and get the raw recording to sound as good as possible, just raw, and then it'll you won't have to do as much mixing. So I feel like if it's more mixing and all these effects and EQs and that, like, what's it going to sound live? I don't know. That's just the way I say it. Try and get the raw recording as best as possible.
Yeah,
then it just makes mixing later on a bit more easier. That's
yeah.
just the way I see it in a way. But,
Well, that's good advice for sure. So what are you using then for like your sounds? Let's say you're writing a song and you're programming the drums. So you have your programmed drum sound that you like, I guess, and I suppose you can get that sort of pre-mixed most of the way or whatever. And then what are you doing for like guitars, orchestrations?
so the drums I'm using Easy Mix too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of these.
It's based off of Easy Drummer, and then yeah,
and I kind of layer up the kick and the snare quite a lot. Yeah, I kind of like blended three kicks together.
Nice.
And then probably next week, after I'd done what I've done with the kick, I'll probably go back to it, and my ears might tell me, "Oh, wait a minute, this second kick needs to be a little bit more like this, like scoop a little bit more mid-range out of it."
Got to scoop a lot of mid-range out of the kick, right? For that metal sound.
Yeah, and it's like on the third kick, I added a what they call sub, like a sub.
Sub. Yeah, like a subwoofer type thing. Yeah.
And you're like, God, it's a little bit too much on that, So it's just work on it. Then a week later, go back to it, and then you can just like I said, scoop it up, stuff like that. But so Easy Drummer, blended that sort of stuff together, and then the guitars, I've just got a. I forgot what my guitar pedal called. Then it's a Boss E17.
All right,
like a
that's cool.
Multi-effects pedal. There's still loads to explore on it, but I mainly just got a metal setting on it, and I can just EQ it from here. Don't really use much effects really on it. Just want that thrash sound, and it does exactly what I want it to do.
Cool. So is that is it modeling a particular thing, or is literally just the sounds that are built into the Boss?
I think so. Yeah, I
think I have a similar one. Yours is probably better, but I have one that I used to use on stage here or there. One of these Boss effects boards. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been a bit lazy with it. Like, there's so much you can do with that pedal. I just haven't explored it. Like, I just wanted to get some music out, and I thought, well, let's just get this thrash distorted sound that I want. I think it sounds great with the rhythm, the tone that I use, but when it comes to the lead, it's not so much. I don't know. I think the lead could be better. I think I EQ the lead quite a lot actually. Yeah, whereas the rhythm just sounds perfect to my ears.
Cool.
As it is.
So are you taking like DIs at all, or it's literally like you're committing to that sound through the board into your mix?
Yeah, it's just straight from this. There's no DI or anything like that. But I think I might DI in the future, like for bass and stuff. Like I want a better. I'm thinking of investing in a better bass guitar. And try and just get a better overall sound on the bass. I'm only using plugins for the bass.
Okay, so you are doing DI on that. You're not using the board.
For the bass, I suppose. Yeah,
for the bass.
Yeah. Just the guitars. It's just
guitars use the FX boards, and then the bass you're DI and you're using plugins for that.
Yeah. So, I think if I remember correctly, I forgot what it's called. It's like a bass version of Guitar Rig or something like that. That I use, and I think I may blend it with like a bass plugin on Easy Mix, which is like another. Wait, it's from Easy Drummer, and it's like Easy Drummer, Easy Mix. So I think that's how you get the sound from a bass. But yeah, I just think I need a new bass guitar. It's a very cheap one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're the guitars, bass, drums, the orchestrations. It's mainly 8 Dio.
Okay, yeah, cool, nice.
I just think they're amazing. I think there's the plugin that I use mainly for like the strings and the brass. It's all in one, so it's not like one track for violins, one track for cello.
Okay.
It's all in one track. So it's like bass, cellos, violins, stuff like that.
Right, okay.
That's only a small keyboard. Keyboard needs to be like this big.
Yeah.
Like an extra 5 octaves on top of here. But,
yeah.
But I think what I do is sometimes I forget how I even write a song. Like how did I even get this?
Yeah, it just happens.
Written.
Yeah.
Well, I try to remember how did I do this? But then, what I think I do is I write all the strings, all the bass, cellos, all the rest of it, and then I split them into 2 tracks. So get all the low end on one track and all the high end on another. Because I think when you're mixing an orchestra metal, I think when you get to the bass and the cello sort of stuff, it can just make the mix sound right muddy. Like it's too much bass there. You want to hear the bass guitar. So
yeah, it's just all gonna collide. Yeah. It turns into mush. I know that one. Yeah.
And then when there's no guitars, so like the tracks that I was saying where it's just orchestral, I can like bring those cellos, double basses, a little bit more in, just to cover the low end.
So you have like one string ensemble track, and then like a dupe of that track, one focusing on high range, one on low. Yeah,
definitely.
Cool.
And then, I might have 6 tracks overall for strings.
Okay.
So, staccato, sustains,
right? Yeah,
and then just any other cool techniques like I forgot what they're called, but Bartok. Yeah. I think it's Bartok. Call it. It's like you like grab hold of the string.
Yeah,
and you like flick it back, like
snap it. Yeah.
like
cool.
like a bar and arrow, like that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do all these different techniques.
Right, they're all on different tracks then. Yeah. So it's not like it's not like one with the key switches in the single track or whatever. Do you know some of these plugins you can do it so like you have one track and then you put like a key switch where it's going to switch it to staccato and then switch it back. But it's probably easier to have the separate tracks. So if you want staccato, you can just put it there, I suppose.
Yeah. Have you used 8Dio before?
I haven't used 8Dio. Which is the maker of it again? Is it is it Spitfire or is it its own company, 8Dio? I can't.
I think it's their own company. I think there's Spitfire, then there's 8Dio. I think they're two different things. I have used Spitfire at uni, but I just found 8Dio easier to use. But Spitfire is amazing.
There's a lot of really good ones. Yeah.
Well, the way 8Dio works is like you've got the whole family of strings on one keyboard like that. And then, like I say, I'll split them like that. But when you're saying about key switches, it's long notes, short notes. So the short notes, all the staccatos. Staccatos. But then the long notes, that's like sustains, arcs, crescendos, stuff like that.
Maybe vibrato if they have those options. Yeah.
So I can only key switch for the whole short notes. No, I can only key switch for all the long notes. So I can't have sustains and staccato on the same track because that's long and short. You know what I mean? So all the shorts they're all the long, and it's same with brass. But that's how 8Dio works. And for me, it just it just clicked with me.
Yeah, that's it. If you've got the workflow down, that's the most important thing, really. Sounds great though, man. I'm really impressed with like what a full orchestra sound you get with all of that metal going on. That's one of the biggest challenges I think in mixing this like symphonic metal is still having a good modern metal sound and a good orchestral sound. You know, like so often orchestra or stuff, it gets like really fried to a crisp, you know, and put as just kind of like a thin keyboard part almost, which is such a shame when you have all the nuance in the orchestration. So yeah, I'm really impressed with the overall balance that you managed to make there, man.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, deal like there's not really that much mixing to be done with
Cool. Nice.
because they just sound amazing. But what you can do with the mixers is about microphone positioning. So you can have, you know, the really up close mic, or you can have the Decker. I think you call it Decker, where it's like a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So like, say if you're in the concert hall, you've got like two here and one far back, or one up front.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Christmas tree sort of shape. And then there's the mics that are really far in the background. And you can blend the main Decker and far mics and mix it that way. So if you want more choirs, I suppose like if you want them in the background, you just lower the main mics down a bit and just push the far away mics.
That's cool. Yeah. That's nice.
But yeah, overall, like I think it's just a matter of just having a good mess around with the microphone positionings and see which you think sounds best. Now, the good thing about another good thing about Evgen, the vocalist, he's also very good at mixing. I was actually tempted to just hire him to mix the album for me, but basically, I just mix the album as best I can, and then I'll say, "What do you think of this?" And he just came out with the choirs could just do a little bit more high end on the EQ.
That's cool.
See what you think.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So I had a bit high end on the EQ on the choirs, and I'm like, wow, it does bring it a little bit more to life, and doesn't sound as muddy, but. I don't know, it's just little things like that I didn't think of before.
Yeah, that's helpful.
It's just getting another pair of ears who's good at mixing. Because I think he's been in loads of bands, and I think he mixes his own stuff as well.
That's cool.
I think his mixes are brilliant. So
it's handy to have people like that for sure, man. Especially like the fact that he's already kind of in the team, like helping you make or being a part of the record. So definitely really helpful.
Yeah, he's definitely helps out a lot, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's the orchestra stuff. The synths, a lot of it's just Logic stuff that you get built in Logic X. But then there's a plugin. There's a company called I think they're called Blue something like. I can't remember their name. It's like
that's all right.
Space or I don't know, but they just focus on like Sims but built for space basically.
Nice.
I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head.
That's all right. But yeah, it's like specifically kind of sci-fi type synthesizers.
Yeah, wide blue sound. I think that's what they're called.
Wide blue sound.
Wide blue sound.
That's cool. I'll have a look at that one, man. Sounds like my kind of cup of tea.
Wide blue sound. Maybe. Yeah. I use them for the space systems sort of thing, just to.
That's cool.
Get like a soundscape. But there's so many things you could do. You could just make 100 albums just using their space, their plugins.
I bet.
You know, if you're just an ambient artist, you could just use and do loads of albums with just that one plugin.
Nice.
Which I'm thinking of doing.
Might as well. Just like a natural byproduct of making metal albums, just like tons of soundscapes.
Yeah, there's just so much to learn. It's like this pedal. There's so much to do on it.
Yeah.
But it's same with the plugins. There's so much to do with them. Like,
Yeah,
you can just make a harp album. There's so much there's so much stuff you can do on harp.
Yeah.
Like things
So
that
cool.
I'd never imagine.
Mm-hmm. That's wicked, man. Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely feel the same way on Omnisphere, which I think is probably a similar plugin, but it does like electronic synthesizer stuff. But it's just like got everything there. It feels like you can just spend a lifetime going through it.
Yeah. There's so many hours, so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what's the writing process like in terms of you sitting down to use all of those things? How does it all come together?
I think just one part of it is just having a jam. Just pick instrument up and just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember Galactic Deathstorm. I think I sat down and right, I've got 2 hours. I'm gonna write a song, and I just came out with just rubbish ideas. Like
yeah,
2 hours has just gone by, and I didn't write one good riff, And then next minute, I just had this rhythm in my head, and I just picked a key, and I just started playing the root note over and over again, and I was just going up the scale. I was like, I was just about to turn the computer off. I actually like that one, so I turned that idea into a full song.
Wow,
and it ended up being Galactic Deathstorm. So I think, one of the writing process is just messing about.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And probably the second way I write a song is how do I want somebody to react to a song? Do I want them to stand still? Do I want them to jump around? Do I want them to headbang? I want them to headbang but in a windmill sort of motion. Like, how would I want somebody to physically react to this song? There's so many different ways of dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Mosh pitting is a form of dance but for the metal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So how would I make someone like headbang, like whatever? I think it starts with the drums for me, because you headbang into the drums.
Yeah.
So maybe I should start with a program in the drums and just get that like that, and then just loop it. Just loop that drum beat over and over again. Pick guitar up, get me thrash sound on here, and just go for it. Just see what I come up with. I might come up with about 10 different riffs just over that one drum beat, or 10 different songs. I think, I want some really epic melodic. I want a melody on top of that. So I might just switch to strings on keyboard and just stay in that key and just start writing melodies on top. I think that's the second way I write songs. Like, how do I want somebody to react to this song? Are they going to stand still? Are they going to headbang or march or jump about, or what are they going to do? And then try and create that through rhythm. So I think it starts mainly with the rhythm. So probably the first couple of tracks, first opening tracks, and then when we're talking about the dynamics, when it goes down a bit for the orchestral tracks, just think more of a like characters, like try and describe a character through. I'm not very good with words. Like, how would I describe this character? Like, there's a big giant with, the French horns and stuff like that, or is it more like a calm character? Like, just use. It's like a fantasy character. I'd probably stick with the choirs and woodwinds. I think choirs and woodwinds is really what makes it fantasy.
Nice.
I think if
That's
you just
cool.
keep it strings and brass, you know, it might just be like just a normal film, just human beings, you know, action films, love romance films. But when you add those choirs and woodwinds to it, that's where the fantasy for me really comes in.
Yeah.
And you start describing all these characters and stuff like that, and you know. But yeah, that's how I would write for orchestras. So
Yeah, nice.
I forgot what I said. My first. Oh yeah. So first one, writing process, just noodling about, just having a jam. Second, I forgot what I said.
Yeah. Second is the one where you start with the rhythm.
Yeah, like how would I want people to react?
Yeah.
And then the third one is just I've got this character in mind. How would I describe this character through a soundtrack? So they're my three ways of my writing process.
That's cool.
Other than that, I don't think there's another one.
So would you say then that the lyrics always come last?
Probably about 80% of the time. I might just have a day where I just think of lyrics and I end up just writing a whole song with the lyrics first, and then fit the music around it. But mainly, it's the music side of things. Because I think Final Blast songs, I don't think I'm ever going to start a song with the vocals first. You know, like Can I Play With Madness, Iron Maiden. It's like vocals first thing. You know, I don't think I'd ever write a song like that. For me, it's always like an orchestral intro for about, you know, a couple of bars or 8 seconds, 10 seconds, and then the metal comes in. Yeah, so I might just have the odd day where I just think lyrics. You know, I might just sit with Tom online and let's just write some lyrics. We've got no music. Let's just see what comes out. We're going to describe this character, that character, and build a little story behind it. So yeah, probably 80% music first, and then just the odd time, just have a day, just doing lyrics.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's sweet, man. Yeah, awesome. I always love hearing about people's process, man, and you know, I can definitely relate a lot with your kind of creative inspirations and stuff. So it's really cool to hear you talk about that, man. I'm
loving these questions. I've not been asked some of these questions before.
It's just I'm just genuinely intrigued, you know. You know, from
yeah, it's making me think. Like I'm like having to think back. I'm like, how did I do that?
Yeah, how do I even do that? Yeah, it's very like stream of consciousness, isn't it? Like you get into the creative mode and then you just let it flow. That's the ideal state to be in, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, so if I do my next album, like obviously I've got this, I think I've nailed the sound down by now, but I can always look back on this video and go, oh yeah, well, how would I want somebody to react to this song? Like, I don't.
Yeah, you remember that that's something that you can think, and then and then you do it.
It's like you're helping me out here by learning how I actually write songs, not knowing how I actually do it.
Cool, that's it, man. Well, yeah, we can all kind of help each other have that perspective, and you know, hopefully other people can listen to this as well and take ideas from it, you know, and try that
definitely,
out. So,
definitely, yeah. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to ask about then is album and the EP, like a week apart. You're just releasing an EP right now, or like a couple of days ago when people are listening, which is the Rise of the Diabolans EP, right? Hopefully I pronounced that somewhat correct. And then Return from the Beyond album that's come out literally the week before. So what's with that, man?
Well, I think it started off just after the first album in 2020. I was like, God, that was amazing! Like the first ever full-length album, and I've got some really good feedback. I just want to do another one. I just want to get some more music done, get as much music done as possible, and the ideas were just flowing. I've just got a library of Final Blast riffs and lyrics, and so I went, right, let's just go for it. Let's just do an album, and I might do an instrumental EP. So let's just focus on the album. So I got the album done. all the music's done. I'm like, right, Evgen, let's do the vocals, and we planned it for January this year, January 2022. And then, like, the worst thing happens. Just, Russia started attacking, and he lives
right, of course.
Yeah, he lives in
Ukraine.
Kyiv. Lives in Kyiv, Ukraine. I'm
Aye.
like, what? Like, this is this is just horrible. Like, because you hear it all on the news. You're like, you don't know what to do, you don't know what to think. But so when it came to recording vocals, it got put on pause for quite a long time, like 5 months. So I thought, well, the album's come to a pause, so I'm still in this writing mindset. I thought, well, I've always wanted to do like an instrumental EP. I was like, well, during this time, why don't I do an EP, instrumental EP? So I just started carrying on writing. I even pulled some ideas from the library, Final Blast sounds, and I got 5 songs together. I thought, you know what? There's 3 songs on this EP that could really do some vocals. I was like, well, I can't do vocals right now, but then thinking about it, I kind of hear it more as a death metal sort of style. So I got in contact with Tom again. I said, Tom, look, I've got this EP. How would you like to do the vocals for it? He went, yeah, sure, let's go for it. So we did, out of the 5 songs, 3 of them I got vocals on. Tom did that, and it just sounds amazing. I think it sounds better than what I expected, and I think Tom thinks that as well. Like he's now learned what he can do with his voice. I think we didn't have to explore anymore. We just knew what he could do. So we ended up coming out with an EP within that 5 months, and then Evgen said, right, let's go, let's do vocals, and he did the vocals, in Kyiv, in Ukraine, and he just went for it, and it just sounds amazing. So many layers. I was like, God, this is next level compared to the last album. And I said, what would be good if we can get Tom on the album as well. So I got Tom on the album. So now I've got 2 vocalists on the new album, and I've got this EP just sat there. I'm like, it'd be good if I release both near enough at the same time.
Nice.
Or should I do them a month apart or a week apart? I thought, what? I'm just so excited. Let's just just get them sounding the best as I possibly can, and just budget myself, because I've got to fund 2 albums, well, 2 releases, should I say?
Yeah.
And let's just go for it. So I'm like 5 months behind than what I was planning. But it's I feel like it's not been rushed. You know what I mean? I've had the time to consume it all and go, what, I can go back and edit things. So now here we are now, and I've released the album 9th of December, and then the EP the week after. But yeah, it weren't originally going to be like, it was just going to be an instrumental EP. I'll probably just release it next year or 2 years from now. But as things went along, I just got that excited.
Yeah, that's cool.
What?
It's that chapter of music, isn't it? Like, it's all kind of part of one, I suppose.
Yeah, like this year's not gone to plan. Like, not just musically, just like personal life as well. Like, things have just changed so much.
I think that's like that for a lot of people right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, especially with pandemic and now. What's going on in the world now? But
yeah, man.
But yeah, I think I wanted to do a second album 2 years after the first one. But yeah, that's just the way it came about. If things weren't, if bad things weren't going off in the world, like in that aspect, it might have just had an album. I might have just done an instrumental EP next year or something. But it's just the way it works. For I've got some spare time.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I'm still thinking about writing music, so I just did the EP.
Yeah, nice. And so when do you, as you said, is it are you treating it kind of as two separate releases, or is it more like one campaign?
Yeah, two separate releases. I wanted to do the EP first in terms of the story, because if you look at Cyros on the EP, it looks the same as the single Cyros September last year. So it's like a continuation.
I see.
And now with the new album, he's got a different costume.
Yeah.
So
the album is the latest in the story timeline, basically.
Yeah. Nice. Pretty much. But it's just the way the artwork. It's just the way the artwork fell, really. So I kind of wanted him to look the same, but then when graphic designer did the artwork for the album, that looks cool. Yeah,
that's it. Not gonna ask him to dial it down.
Yeah. Oh no, no.
That's it. So, do you have like CDs for them, or what you're doing in that kind of regard?
I'm still waiting for the CD. The CD should arrive tomorrow. Basically, there's just been delays on everything, really.
Yeah.
Release, and now the post office are on strike.
Oh, strike, yeah.
So I don't think anybody's getting any parcels anytime soon. But yeah, so strikes with that, so just more and more delays. But I've posted on social media, like saying, look, CDs aren't going to come out on release day. It's going to be a week or maybe 2, or maybe 3. So it's not great, but it is what it is. And I've just tried my best trying to get the CDs done. Well, I'm just constantly contacting the manufacturers and stuff like that. But yeah, the CDs, hopefully people should be getting them by next week.
Cool.
But yeah, cool. I did like a pre-sale sort of thing. I like to do a pre-sale like 2 months before, just to see how many people want the CDs.
Yeah.
Because sorry.
Well, it helps you fund getting them and all that, right?
It helps fund them, yeah, and you don't over order. So I've done that in the past.
Yeah,
like with the first album, like I ordered like this many, but I only needed this many. But I suppose as long as you don't go crazy and your room's just full of CDs. It just helps out, doesn't it? Like you can just help fund it. So I think it's always good to do a pre-sale. And within that time, you can just promote your new single or music video. That's something new that I've done this year as well. I've done music videos, whereas before it was just lyric videos.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, we're always told, aren't we? Like it's very much kind of like singles games in terms of consumption, but that's a tricky thing for like us in the metal world or whatever, because obviously we like to make albums and records and things that like flow into one another. But yeah, I guess that's how you do it, right? Is you make the album, but like you're kind of drip feeding content from the album sort of all the way through the campaign in a way. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like for anybody who's like in a band and that, like who's just done lyric videos like I've done in the past, I think it's really important to do music videos. Like show up, like show your face, show like what you would wear on stage, and just show fans, look, this is the person behind the music, this is what they look like, this is how they play. I think that's really important. So I've kind of gone off lyric videos now. I just want to do more and more music videos and
That's
less
good.
lyric. But I think I've just been influenced by other people that you've had on your podcast in the past who've done music videos. It's a few people that I know we've been speaking to. I'm like, wow, their music video is amazing. Like, I want to do a music video.
Yeah, who have we got in common? Like Blood of Indigo, I know you're friends with those guys, right? Or
yeah, they're great. Yeah,
I think I saw that we're connected there, and you're friends with Louis as well, Louis Nass.
Yeah, we've spoke a few times. Yeah,
know each other. Cool.
He's great as well, and Sam Astrath. We met in August, which were great. I think it was like
when he came over to the UK.
Yeah,
right. That's cool. Yeah.
It was like his birthday, and he was like going to a concert, and thought, let's meet up. So I went all the way down to London, and it was just great. Just great to meet him for the first time. We just talk music and that. But he's done so many like music videos, especially this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. He's been absolutely killing it this year. He's what was the Demon Core that video? I don't know. Was that the first one he released, or it was definitely? I remember seeing that one with the devil pole dancer type thing. It's awesome. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's like he's done a video for like pretty much every song that he's released. And I think he's going more doing the singles, not just a
he is, regular,
which I think is really cool. Really good approach. But yeah, he's doing really well. And I suppose like he's influenced me to show up more on camera and do these music videos. But yeah, it's just the music industry is just constantly changing. You just got to keep up with the curve, really, haven't you? So just get comfortable with being uncomfortable and get out of the comfort zone. Just do what you don't normally do. Like the first music video, I set up a big fire, and I just happened to have done it on a heat wave back in June.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
My God, why am I doing this? But you're just like, you know what? Let's just go for it. And we filmed it, and it just made me want to do more. Cool. So I just told my video guy, like, look, we're doing another music video. Think of a location. But yeah, we're trying to get some more performing live and doing music videos, that sort of stuff.
Cool.
I think it's important.
I definitely get what you're saying in terms of sort of like showing up. Like, people want to connect to a person, don't they?
Yeah.
But like really showing just you playing the music, it definitely gives people something to connect with, for sure, man.
Yeah. Have you had a guitar player called Pliny?
Yeah, Pliny. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, kind of like instrumental guitarist. Yeah.
He was doing really well, but he weren't showing his face. Like, you could just see the guitar. But I think his guitar, like, you knew it was him. Like, you've never seen a guitar looking like that. But then I saw him live, and it's like, so that's what he looks like,
Yeah.
But now he shows up all the time.
Do you know? Yeah. Do you know? This is a cool question. I actually really like this topic because I've tried to explore different sides of it as well. The thing is, you can pull it off with the anonymous thing.
Yeah.
But it's very, very, very difficult because, like, maybe before that was the question, whereas now it's so much based around like social media, the internet. We have like such an intimate view into like everybody's life, or at least their projections of it, that like we just feel like we want to know, and we need to like have these connections as well. So you have to be like very smart to like really pull it off with an anonymous thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think with Pliny is, I'd never heard anybody play like him before.
Yeah, he has a kind of signature sound as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Now these, I think you call it gent or something like that. D-gent.
Yeah, this kind of modern prog metalcore thing, whatever it is.
Yeah. He did that EP. I think it was Sweet Nothings or something like that. Second EP. I was just like, what the hell? I've never heard anybody play like this. But now he's like loads of Plinies. There's loads of Plinies.
Oh, there is. Yeah. The other one is Polyphia, right? And like they're hugely influential in that kind of space. And as you say, like now everyone is playing like that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
Tosin Abassi, I think he kind of added some things in there as well with the, very quirky 8-string playing, Yeah. Now it's all the rage.
I mean, it just takes your guitar playing. It's like learning the guitar again for me.
Oh yeah.
It's like going from Red Hot Chili Peppers to Iron Maiden and Pliny. It's like what? It's like a whole different style,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know about you, but I haven't tried doing too much of this super modern-esque playing. It does intrigue me though. How about you? Have you tried playing like Pliny and stuff like that?
Probably about 2017. I gave it a go, and then I just thought, is this who I want to sound like? Is this who I want to be known for?
Yeah.
I thought, no, it's not. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you can learn things from it for sure. But
it's like, what is my number one thing that I want to do musically? It's like orchestral metal. Like, right, it's not Pliny then. So as much as I'd love to learn Pliny, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, you got to kind of choose your lane, really, haven't you? And you definitely got to practice a lot if you want to play like that as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a whole different new style, isn't it? It's like classical, like it's like it's just
yeah.
Again, totally different style. So,
but another one that I think like absolutely nailed the anonymity thing, which again has also kind of like changed in more recent years. But you zipped up your hoodie now, but I believe that you're wearing a t-shirt from the band Ghost, right? And there we go. Like that, they absolutely nailed that as well. Like for years, they managed to keep like completely anonymous and have that like mystique to them. Like it was so masterfully done, man.
Yeah, I feel like they're either a band that you love or hate, but I love them.
Oh man, totally love-hate band. Man, people hate them so passionately. It's kind of hilarious.
I just feel like the more hate that you get, though, the more shows how successful you are.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like it definitely just seems to like play into it. It's like, Tobias, he just knows what he's doing with Ghost, and it's not like, he knows what heavy metal is and all of those things, and he's played death metal and stuff like that before. He deliberately has done something different with Ghost, and it's pissed off so many people.
Love it.
But sold so many records, man. And they're just, the records are amazing and the shows are amazing as well. I got to see them at the Royal Albert Hall on the prequel tour. It was amazing, man. They were just in like world-beating form. Like,
the
so
saxophone
cool,
guy comes out.
Man, that's my jam. Like all these kind of theatrics. It's so good, man.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, I should have seen him. I've seen him quite a few times, like 4 or 5 times. I should have seen him like 7, but they like cancelled download when I went.
Right. Yeah.
And then the other one with Leeds. And I was watching some other band, but I really wish I watched Ghost. But it's crazy that 2015. I watched him at Leeds Student Union. There must have been like 200 people there.
Wow.
And then like 3 years later, they did the 4th album, and it was like Leeds Arena. It's like 30,000 people.
Wow,
like,
what a jump.
Yeah, literally. Every album, they've just gone like...
Yeah, jumped, man.
Yeah. The production and all, the productions...
It's perfect. It just has that. The thing is, again, it's like there's metal production and there's modern metal and all of that, and for all its merits. But what Ghost does is, again, it's its own thing, and it's like a mix of really great like rock production, but it definitely brings in this kind of Swedish pop kind of perfection, to music production.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so nicely done, man.
They're entertaining. They're insane to watch.
That's it.
Like,
yeah.
There was no point. There was no point in the show, in any of the shows I've seen them, where you're just like, it's kind of a bit, dynamic.
Yeah, your back starts hurting. Like, to be honest, metal bands do suffer from that a lot. I think because like you can be at the mercy of a venue, and if you don't have like great sound, especially if it can't like handle the low end, you have a heavy band that's got like kick drums all the way through it, and it just turns into like, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and again, that's just another benefit that Ghost have of like there's there's so much melody and everything there, and now they're playing just like arenas and stadiums and stuff.
Yeah.
So it has a really pristine quality to it.
Yeah, I saw some other day about like a headline saying, "Oh, Ghost, he wants Ghost to be as big as Rammstein live." I'm thinking, well, it was only like 7 years ago. They were playing in front of 200 people.
Yeah.
And now look at them now. So to play like a Rammstein sort of size stadium, I think it's possible.
Oh man,
if they carry on doing what they're doing.
Man, if not them, then who? Like they're in pole position for that mantle, man, for sure. Yeah. And they just go from height to height, as you say. Like I don't see it going downwards from them. I mean, what do you have like a order of preferences on the Ghost albums at all?
Well, I actually had a Ghost day yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Last 2 days. So I listened to every album and EP in order.
Wow. Wow, that's perfect topic then. It's fresh.
That's what I've been doing for the past year or two. Just listen to a band, the whole discography.
Absorb
album.
What they're doing, yeah.
And you hear
the progression,
you see the changes per album.
That's what I love as well, man. Yeah.
I can't just listen to the 4th Ghost album. It's like, no, I've got to start from the beginning and work my way along.
That's it. It's like the Lord of the Rings box set, right?
Yeah, literally. You're not
got to go through the experience.
That's it, definitely. I had a Ghost day for the past 2 days. What did you ask? My favorite album? Did you say?
Yeah. Do you have like a sort of order of favorites, or just at least particular favorites, or non-favorites?
I think just when I listen to an album, it just reminds me of when I saw him on that tour.
Yeah,
like the last album that we've just done. Saw him back in April. Did you see him this year?
I haven't seen them this year. No.
They toured in April in the UK. I went to Birmingham. And it was amazing, but it was different from the other past tours.
Yeah, sure. Well, they kind of evolve each time, don't they? And update the look and the character and all that. So like errors.
Yeah, so when they played this year, when they play a song from second album, he'll dress like the second album.
Oh, really?
So when he comes out and plays, when they play Rats, he'll like dress.
He'll trim down and do more ballet.
Yeah. So he'll just walk off and dress completely different just for this.
Yeah, they do so many costume changes, don't they? Yeah.
Yes. There's no favorite album. I just think the second and third probably stand out a little bit more, just because that's
where you jumped.
That's when I discovered them.
Yeah.
I discovered them on the second album. I went to Sonosphere Festival. It was my first ever festival. Yeah. And it was like Hailstorm, Pirate Metal, Baby Metal, Chaz and Dave, Ghost. like what? Like 4 different, completely different bands. When Ghost just came on and they played like Year Zero, and it was just like, what is this? And brilliant. Just out, so my Ghost first experience was the second album.
Yeah, okay.
They weren't that long until they released the third one after I discovered them. So probably the first, second and third album stick out most.
Yeah, I'm with you. For me, I jumped on properly at Meliora on the third album. And then that was when it like really got me. So that one will definitely always have soft spot for me, because it's definitely got the nostalgic trait to it.
Yeah.
I think I heard them before that, and I remember that there was so much like sort of taboo around Ghost. They were always like controversial. I think just because everyone expected them to be way heavier than they are.
Yeah.
So then they see them and they're like, oh, this is like Sweden's new biggest black and death metal band or whatever. And then
ABBA.
it's like, yeah, exactly, like ABBA and mixed with 70s rock, and people would call it Scooby-Doo chase music, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Which
literally.
is hilarious.
Well, I got married last year,
Oh,
and
congrats, man.
thank you. Yeah, and the second tour, the lead student union, should I say, with the 200
Mm,
people there.
mm.
I got my wife like to come with me, so let's go and watch this band called Ghost. Yeah, she like, I don't really know who they are, like just another weird band that you listen to. I went, no, trust me, it'll be good. It'll be good. So in Leeds, she thought it was brilliant. Just
Nice.
loved them. And yeah, she's come with me on every tour since then. And then when we got married last year, our first dance was Dance Macabre. Macabre.
Yeah. From prequel, yeah.
Oh, you know what? That'd be a great first dance to do. And I think people who was at my wedding, they didn't really know who Ghost was.
Yeah,
They
sure.
thought, what was that song you danced to? It was a good song. That's quite catchy. I was like, oh, it's just this band called Ghost. Like,
Yeah. And
like,
convert them
right.
to the cult of Ghost. The clergy,
Yeah,
they call it.
but like you say, like they look heavier than what they actually are.
Yeah. I think that like caused some cognitive dissonance that just really upset people, I think, because then people are trying
Yeah,
to categorize it and they're like, no, this doesn't work for me. But I
yeah,
think that when I first heard them, I have no idea what I heard. But when I first heard them, I had a similar kind of impression where I thought like, oh, this band looks really cool. And I heard something and it just didn't connect with me. I think because it just wasn't what I was expecting. But
yeah.
then, like, it was like when Meliora just came out, or I think maybe even just before it came out with Cerise dropping. I remember hearing Cerise, a friend just putting that on and being like, "Oh, listen to this," and thinking like, "This is awesome! Like,
Yeah.
this absolutely kills, man! Like, what is this?" And then it's like, "This is Ghost," and I'm like, "Ah." Then it was like the moment struck. It's like, "This is Ghost," and then like I became obsessed with them, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they are.
I just loved it.
I mean, even just the like sinister church sort of organ sort of
Yeah,
sound.
yeah,
Like for me, that was just enough
yeah,
blended
yeah.
with rock, blended with a
Mhm.
bit of metal. For me, that was just enough for me to go like, what? And what's with his vocals?
Yeah,
Is
it's so many
like,
layers and things, man. Yeah, really cool.
yeah, and like his vocal melodies, it's like dun 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 dun. It's like it's going that root to that
The flat fifth type thing. Yeah,
that diminished fifth.
yeah.
Instead of it's like you don't really
It's that doom kind of thing, right?
yeah
Like, but they're kind of like more like, I don't know, doom rock, doomy like pop rock in a way, you know,
yeah
rather than
yeah.
like full on doom metal. But I always wondered, like, are you familiar with Candlemass? They're like Swedish doom metal band, but they
I
go
think,
back from the 80s, and that's like they call it like epic doom metal. You know, I love Candlemass, but I think that was a big inspiration for Tobias Forge.
yeah
Um, and yeah, it's just they have a song, especially on their second album, where they have a singer called Messiah who's crazy. He's hilarious, but like he's awesome. And they have a song called Bewitched, where
yeah
it's like you are bewitched, and it
yeah
has these kind of doomy melodies, and it's kind of cheesy and hilarious, but it's also just awesome.
yeah
And I always thought like Dance Macabre, like wanna bewitch you in the moonlight. I always thought like maybe this is kind of like a nod
yeah
to Candlemass. You should check out Candlemass if you like
yeah
that.
will do
I think Tobias, he did something with them once, like they did a cover of Enter Sandman, I think, or
yeah
and maybe some stuff like where he was singing with Candlemass. Yeah, pretty cool.
yeah. Well, Ghost have done a Enter Sandman
They
cover,
did
haven't
one recently on the Black Album anniversary thing, whatever it was, wasn't it?
they? Yeah, I think they played it this year. Part of
Yeah,
the set.
that makes sense. Yeah. But they did one, like, I think it was a few years ago, around about the prequel time, I think. It was like an award show or something, and Tobias, I think he did Enter Sandman with Candlemass, or maybe he did a Candlemass song. I don't know,
Yeah.
but rings a bell anyway. But yeah, it's that doomy kind of sound that I guess harkens back to Black Sabbath, really. But it's so cool how he does that in this like really pop arena rock kind of way. Like again, like mixed with ABBA, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what would you say? I think you described him right, like doom pop rock. I think that's definite. But would you say there's metal in there?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah. I think again, metal is so broad, you know. So, like, again, if you're expecting like black and death metal or whatever, then it's not what's happening here. But if you're more in the kind of like, you know, it's kind of metal like Black Sabbath or something, maybe, you know, or as I say, maybe some doomy kind of stuff like Candlemass.
Yeah.
Like, sure, there's some bits in there. I think, again, the production plays into it because they don't have really high gain, like ear-biting kind of guitars, you know? It's actually all very, very, like, nicely produced with kind of more sort of vintagey sounds in a way. And I think Andy Wallace mixed all their records, or at least most of them, who's one of the best mixers of all time, but, like, for, like, pop, rock, you know what I mean? He's not like a metal guy, you know. I think they would sound very different if Jens Bogren was mixing Ghost, you know, and it sounded more like Opeth style tones or something, or well, like older Opeth, whatever. Then we'd have a different story. I think it would be pretty metal at that point. So it all plays into it, I would say. What about you? What do you think about that?
I agree with what you just said. When I think Ghost metal, I think of the song Mummy Dust.
Yeah.
Because the riff reminds me of Judas Priest. It's like
it's exactly this old like 80s metal, exactly.
Yeah, like that, and it even says live like this is a really heavy motherfucking song. Like
yeah, this is the heavy song. Yeah.
And I'm like, I know what they're gonna play here.
Yeah.
They play it, and then all this confetti comes down at the end. It's brilliant. But
yeah, it's so good, man.
I think one of the guitarists I've heard is from Yorkshire.
Really?
Cool. When I saw him in Leeds, they played the EastEnders, Emmerdale Farm theme tune on the guitar.
Oh, right.
I was like, how does he know that? Then I was thinking, oh,
he played it on guitar.
Yeah, you know, I thought, well, actually, maybe he is from Yorkshire then. Like, why would a Swedish rock doom band like know what Emmerdale Farm is?
He probably is. Yeah.
So maybe he is from Yorkshire.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I may have deceived you slightly because I live in Yorkshire, but I'm actually from London originally.
Yeah.
So I'm a Londoner. I'm not really a true Yorkshireman, but I do live in Yorkshire and like definitely love it up here. I did live here for a bit as a kid as well, so.
Yeah, Harrogate's really nice.
Yeah. I really like it here. I lived here for a bit as a kid, and then thought like I wanted to get out of London, and I thought where to go, and it seemed as good a place as any. Really, it was familiar. So yeah, I haven't really spent much time in Sheffield, but obviously it's not too far away, just the south part of the county.
Yeah. Sheffield's really good. I appreciate Sheffield more when I moved out to Huddersfield for uni.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Then I came back to Sheffield. I was like, I think I love Sheffield more than before. Like, you know, just living somewhere else, like somewhere a bit smaller. But yeah, Yorkshire's great. Like Harrogate, it reminds me a bit like York as York.
I love York, man. Yeah, it's a great city.
It's really, really good. And you know Troy from Nightwish.
Yeah,
he's from York.
Really nice.
They're just like Finnish band guy from York.
yeah, that's cool, man. Yorkshire has loads of great stuff. I mean, and well, the UK in general and the north, but like, yeah, loads of great stuff from Yorkshire. One of my favorite bands. I don't know if you know them, but is kind of gothic sort of metal band called Paradise Lost, and they're all from Halifax. And yeah, they're awesome, man. Like really cool band. They kind of did like the death doom sort of stuff early on, like even like early 90s, and they were super influential. But then from there, they've just done all different kinds of gothic rock and metal, basically. But you
Yeah.
know, they're just kind of like, it's not like flamboyant, you know, they're just like some Yorkshire dudes, you know, just like some
Yeah.
blokes singing moody
Yeah.
songs, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's quite a few big bands from Yorkshire. Well, Sheffield, really. I mean, like Def Leppard, Bring Me Horizon.
Def Leppard, yeah. Oh, yeah, and Bring Me the Horizon. Different generations, but yeah, big bands.
Yeah. While She Sleeps,
Mm-hmm.
Malevolence. There's
Mm-hmm.
it's quite a lot of good bands and doing
And
really.
Napalm Death from Yorkshire. I think they might
I should
be.
know this.
Yeah, I have to double check that one, but I got a feeling that they are.
Maybe.
There's probably a lot. Yeah, I'd have thought. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good part of the world, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a drummer from Chesterfield who played Demi Borgia.
Wow.
Not. I might be wrong. Might be Nick Barker. I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's. I'm from Sheffield, but I moved to Chesterfield last year. But,
okay, cool.
But yeah, I think I might have got that wrong. But Nick Barker, yeah. I'm hoping I'm right now. But yeah, I think he played with Demi Borgia or some black metal band, something like that.
Cool, man.
I'll have to Google it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll find out. But man, the time has absolutely flown past, man. Like, I think I wanted to ask just about like what your plans were for the project going forward, and yeah, like what kind of things might be in the work. And obviously, you've just done a big load of releases, so you know what can we expect?
Well, I think I'm going to try and hope for a third album in 2 years, so probably 2024.
Nice.
But I've not really posted this on my music page yet, but I'm going to be a dad in February.
Oh wow! Congrats, man. Yeah. Oh, dude.
You, yeah.
Big congrats, man.
Thanks.
February.
Yes,
nice. That's coming soon, man. That's a big thing, man.
Yeah, she's gonna have to sit here and watch me do the third album.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, we're having a girl. So it's,
that's lovely, man. Congrats.
Yeah, it's exciting times, life changing, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, wicked.
But yeah, I'm still, in terms of the music, I'm still going to aim for 2024, try and do a third album. But I think this next year, I think I'm just going to focus on being a dad.
Yeah, that's going to definitely be the main one.
Yeah, and just try and show up more online. Like I think I'm going to spend more time just connecting with people, connecting with musicians, connecting with my audience, and just do a lot of videos. Maybe I hardly do any live
out there. Yeah.
I hardly do any live streams. You know, the time was to do it during the pandemic mainly. But I was just so focused on my first album because I didn't know how it was going to go. But
yeah, sure.
Now that I think I've finally now know how to do an album, I think that process will become easier. So I think I should focus on things that I'm not so good at, which is showing up more online, doing more videos, doing more content. Yeah. I think that's the future for me now. Focus on being a dad, doing more videos online, and then just work towards a third album in 2024. And then hopefully after that, maybe think about playing live.
Yeah, nice.
I want to get 3 albums done. I'd love to play live. Yeah, I think that's the next few steps for me. But things can change. So
cool. What would you do in the live band? Play guitar?
Yeah, play guitar. I'd have Tom Evergen on vocals, and then I just look for a guitar player. Well, yeah, I have a second guitar player, bassist, and obviously a drummer.
And then probably a track with the orchestration and all that.
Yeah. Definitely have orchestral backing track. But again, playing live, that's just a whole new thing compared to what I'm currently doing. So that's a whole new thing to learn.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't think it's something I can just jump into right now.
Yeah, you're right. You got these stages, especially with becoming a dad. You can keep your head down on building the foundation and focusing on that, and then hopefully, in a couple of years' time or whatever, after that all kind of builds. Yeah, I could see it, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. I'd love to just do like 5 shows in UK just to start off with. Try and get on some festivals, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like after the 3rd album. I think after the 3rd album, right, let's just see how things are, and then we'll start and get band members and take the music out on the road.
Cool.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Cool, man. That's exciting stuff. Really exciting. Oh, well, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Like, is there anything else in particular that you'd want to get in there before we wrap up?
I think we've covered a lot of things there.
Yeah,
Some really good questions that I've not been asked before. So that's, really good. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on and asking me these questions. And it's been 2 hours pretty much. So it's been amazing. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, absolute pleasure. And like, I just look forward to like talking more and seeing what you're up to and what you're releasing. And yeah, man, it's exciting stuff.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Yeah. And I love your music as well. Like, I'm gonna check more of your music out.
Cheers, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, likewise. Like, for sure, keep in touch, man. And I look forward to doing this again sometime. Thank you for listening to this episode of Creating a Universe. A big thanks to Luke for joining me. I really enjoyed our chat. Be sure to check out Luke's project, Final Blast, at finalblastmusic.com. Links will be in the show notes. That's all for this one. I'll see you next time.